In this week's edition of Emily in Palace, our royal editor dives into the busy royal week. The future king is putting a renewed emphasis on protecting our oceans, as he flew out to Monaco yesterday to attend an environmental summit focused on ocean preservation. William has long been an eco-warrior, having launched his Earthshot Prize in 2020 with the aim of celebrating and supporting people and companies working to provide innovative solutions for climate and environmental issues. And this week, he turned his attention to restoring the health of the oceans. Yesterday, he appeared in a special film with conservation icon Sir David Attenborough in his latest film, Oceans. The prince went to see a private screening of the film last month, and recently said the naturalist is the inspiration behind his environmental work. Collaborations such as these are PR gold dust, as Kensington Palace are harnessing the star power of not one, but two eco-celebrities. The partnership will help bolster the message that both Sir David and the prince are trying to make, that urgent action is needed to restore the health of the oceans. Rising sea temperatures, pollution and overfishing are stressing the fragile ocean ecosystems and the communities that depend on them. So far, just 3% of the ocean has been fully protected, a huge way off the 30 by 30 target, a campaign to protect 30% of the world's oceans by 2030. William's attendance at the Blue Economy and Finance Forum, BEFF, in Monaco will help shine a light on the pressing issues facing the ocean and highlight sustainable practices to help turn the tide. The prince will deliver what aides have described as a landmark speech ahead of the 2025 UN Ocean Conference in Nice. Aides have described his address as a call to action as he turns his attention to restoring the health of the world's oceans. William is expected to say, "Halfway through this decisive decade, I call on all of you to think big in your actions. Let us act together with urgency and optimism while we still have the chance." Since joining the royal rota, I've seen some strange things, the king playing a carrot recorder, an alpaca sneeze on the monarch, and the heir to the throne turning his hand to football punditry. But I never thought I'd see the queen chat to moss people. Yes, you read correctly. Camilla was introduced to two people dressed as shrubs when she visited Eden Dock in Canary Wharf, East London, on Wednesday. When I first saw them walk towards me, I had quite the fright, but their Disney cartoon-like mimes soon won me over. The Queen also appeared highly amused by the characters, who were there to represent the sculptures at the site, which have been installed to increase biodiversity. They certainly livened up a grey and windy engagement. After enjoying some downtime after their whirlwind 24-hour trip to Canada, the King and Queen threw themselves back into royal engagements. Over 2 days, their Majesties conducted 6 public engagements between them. While the bulk of the visits were in London, the Queen made the 600-mile round trip to Hexham on Thursday. In the golden morning light of Monaco's Port Hercules, the buzz of international delegations was temporarily eclipsed by a flutter of excitement. A royal aircraft had just touched down at Nice Côte d'Azur Airport, and shortly thereafter, Prince William, the Prince of Wales, arrived in the Principality to make a landmark speech at the Blue Economy and Finance Forum, BEF. This high-profile environmental summit, dedicated to the preservation of the world's oceans, marked not just another royal engagement, but a defining chapter in William's evolving legacy as a global advocate for environmental reform. It was a symbolic journey, both geographically and politically. Monaco, long known for its lavish yachts and high society events, was now playing host to a man who has quietly been reshaping the modern monarchy's role in sustainability advocacy. And on this day, Prince William came not merely as a royal dignitary, but as a leader urging collective responsibility. Clad in a sharp navy suit, perhaps a subtle nod to the ocean itself, Prince William arrived at the Grimaldi Forum to polite applause and a sea of flashbulbs. Inside, he was welcomed by Prince Albert of Monaco, a fellow environmentalist and head of state whose principality has become a surprising hub for progressive climate dialogue in recent years. The two princes exchanged pleasantries, but there was little time for formalities. The world was listening. William's appearance was not accidental, nor was it superficial. Since launching the Earthshot Prize in 2020, it has carved out a new identity for himself, less as the heir-in-waiting, more as a changemaker. His Earthshot Prize, designed to find and fund innovative environmental solutions, has garnered global attention and turned the prince into one of the most recognizable faces in climate advocacy. But this week, the focus narrowed. It was the oceans that now demanded his voice. Halfway through this decisive decade, William began, standing at a glass podium overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. "I call on all of you to think big in your actions. Let us act together with urgency and optimism while we still have the chance." The speech was indeed landmark, as his aides had promised. He spoke passionately and clearly, his words imbued with the urgency that the topic demanded. Rising sea temperatures, acidification, pollution, and overfishing were pushing marine ecosystems to the brink of collapse. Already, coral reefs were bleaching, fish populations were declining, and sea levels were threatening coastal communities. In our lifetimes, we have witnessed the retreat of glaciers, the destruction of rainforests, and now the silent suffering of our oceans, he said. But it is not too late. We still have the power to reverse the damage, if we act boldly now. The room was still, the international audience of policymakers, scientists, financiers, and activists rapt. The prince wasn't merely advocating. He was rallying. Just days before his journey to Monaco, Prince William appeared in a short film alongside the legendary naturalist Sir David Attenborough. Titled Oceans, the documentary offered a haunting look at the fragility of marine life and the complex web of life supported by our planet's waters. For William, this was more than a media moment. It was a continuation of a deeply personal mission. "I owe much of my passion for nature to Sir David," William said in a post-screening interview. "He opened my eyes as a child to the wonders of the natural world, and today he continues to inspire me." The short film, narrated by Attenborough with his usual grace and gravitas, was filled with breathtaking visuals of blue whales gliding through kelp forests, coral reefs teeming with life, and vast schools of fish swirling like underwater galaxies. But it also featured devastating footage. Plastic-choked shores, ghost mets drifting like death traps, and coral skeletons where once colorful reefs have thrived. The message was clear: time is running out. One of the focal points of the Monaco summit, and William's speech, was the Global 30x30 initiative, an international campaign to protect 30% of the world's land and oceans by 2030. Currently, just 3% of the ocean is fully protected. "This is a stark number," William said, pausing. "Imagine trying to preserve a house by only repairing 3% of its roof." The campaign, backed by scientists and environmental NGOs alike, aims to create vast marine protected areas, curb illegal fishing, and foster sustainable ocean economies. William's presence at BEFF was seen by many as a significant endorsement, bringing a level of visibility and influence that few others could. In the crowd were young entrepreneurs with ocean-cleaning drones, indigenous leaders from Pacific islands whose cultures are interwoven with the sea, and European ministers hammering out policy frameworks. The prince met many of them after his speech, taking time to listen, encourage, and champion their efforts. Beyond policy, the royal family understands the power of symbolism. William's collaboration with Sir David was part of a deliberate strategy to pair star power with substance. At Kensington Palace, aides call this impact diplomacy, where royal engagements are chosen not only for tradition or protocol, but for tangible outcomes. "Having Prince William and Sir David together is PR gold dust," said one palace insider. "It's not about showboating. It's about amplifying voices that need to be heard." That sentiment extended to the summit's visual moments as well. Prince William stood alongside a 14-foot sculpture made from recycled ocean plastic, unveiled as a reminder of both the problem and the potential of innovation. He was visibly moved when meeting a 12-year-old Monegasque student who presented him with a drawing of a turtle caught in a plastic bag. "We have to do better," he said softly. While William was taking the stage in Monaco, back in the UK, the rest of the royal family was also leaning into their roles with a slightly lighter, but no less symbolic, touch. Queen Camilla made headlines after she was spotted laughing with two individuals dressed as shrubs, dubbed the Moss People, during her visit to Eden Dock in Canary Wharf. The installation was part of a biodiversity project designed to raise awareness in urban areas, and the Queen was reportedly charmed by the whimsical characters. Meanwhile, King Charles and Queen Camilla, fresh off a 24-hour tour of Canada, jumped back into royal duties with 6 engagements over just 2 days. The King, ever the eco-advocate himself, visited an agricultural innovation centre focused on sustainable farming practices. Elsewhere, the Prince of Wales's week had been filled with public service. Before Monaco, he spent time with the Army Air Corps in Wattisham, Suffolk, and attended the Royal Cornwall Show with his aunt, the Duchess of Edinburgh. It was a schedule that reflected a new balance. Tradition on one side, purpose-driven engagements on the other. Observers of the monarchy note this deliberate shift. William is redefining what it means to be a modern royal, said Dr. Olivia Ashford, a historian at the University of London. He's still deeply rooted in the expectations of service and duty, but he's clearly drawing on his platform to champion specific causes, namely climate and conservation. And that matters. As the sun dipped behind the horizon in Monaco, casting the sea in hues of gold and lavender, Prince William departed the forum with a quiet sense of accomplishment. There were no grand fanfares, no red carpets, just the soft clicking of cameras and the murmurs of inspired delegates. Later, a statement from Kensington Palace underscored the event's significance. His Royal Highness believes that protecting our oceans is one of the greatest challenges and opportunities of our time. He will continue to work with partners around the world to turn ambition into action. Indeed, William's journey, from a young prince accompanying his father on royal tours to a global environmental advocate, is not just a testament to personal growth. It is a reflection of a monarchy evolving, one that is trading opulence for impact, ceremony for substance.